Hey, welcome to my new video here. 5 reasons to use Scrivener to write during NaNoWriMo. Alright, my name is Randall Searles. You can check out more Scrivener details at literatureandlatte.com. I got the URL down below, and then also my website has a couple articles on how to use Scrivener and also set it up to use the story grid if you're interested in that. So I'll get on to the agenda. All right, we're going to talk about the 5 reasons. Tracking your daily word count automatically, using labels to track scene progress in the binder, using snapshots. If you've never heard of that, they're awesome. Using the Corkboard to plan your novel, and making Scrivener your own writing experience. First, I want to give you a little orientation. This is my Scrivener webpage. I'm currently in Scrivener. This is not a tutorial from the beginning. If you don't already know how to use Scrivener, there's a couple other videos to show you how to get in there and set up the documents. But this is my Scrivener. This is how I use it to write every day. So we're going to talk about the just to get oriented and make sure everyone's on the same terminology. This main section right here where it's white is called the editor. This is basically your Word document or your Google Doc or your typewriter or whatever you're writing your story in. This is what that is. It's the editor. It goes pretty much round like that. And then you have on the left side the binder. The binder is like a 3-ring binder, for lack of a better word. It holds all your chapters. I'll show you this book I'm writing. This has my outline. It has all my chapters. I have them divided up in different acts. I'm going to go into that a little bit later. And down here it has all my research, my character forms that I fill out to talk about the background of my characters and anything else you want. And it has everything here in one place. You can even put web pages in there. You can put photos, everything there. You don't have to open any new files. That's what the binder is. And then if you go over to the right side, you have the inspector. The inspector is basically your computer piece to this, right? It's using metadata. It's writing notes along the side, not putting it in comments. You can put them in comments, but just writing notes about the chapter that you're writing. For instance, if I was writing chapter 37, I have a couple notes that pertain just to this chapter. You also can connect websites if you want to help you do research specifically on these chapters. This is the metadata. This is about writing specific things about each chapter. If you follow the story grid, you can put the 5 commandments in here, which I have. If you follow some other ways of writing, you can put those different formats in here. I also track world building, essential action of the chapter, and things like that. We're going to get into this later. This is the snapshot. It's all part of the inspector. The snapshot will take a picture of just this chapter, so you can save as many versions of this chapter as you want. And it's just a really great tool. There you go. I took one. And then the last one is, like I mentioned, just like you do in Word and Google Docs, you can put comments here. You can highlight stuff and say, I want to put a comment here, and like, what's this? Same thing as any of those others. All right, so those are the 3 parts of Scrivener, and then I always have this 4th part, which is up here, which is the toolbar. Toolbar, I'm going to use a couple tools today, but if you right-click on the toolbar, you can customize the toolbar. And these are all the different tools you can customize, and basically you can just drag it up there and it'll stick it up there between everything else. If that's whatever you primarily use, a lot of these things you can find in these drop-down lists up here, but if you use it all the time, you can put it on your toolbar. All right, so that's a little orientation. Let's go back to our agenda real quick, and we're going to move into the daily word count. Super awesome. If you're doing NaNoWriMo, this makes it so easy. Look, you can put the icon up here on your toolbar, like I just showed you, or you can go to Project, Show Project Targets. Right? I already got this set up for NaNoWriMo, but if NaNoWriMo is the objective, 50,000 words, right? 1,666 or 7 words a day. What you do is you'll type in whatever you want this to be. Watch these numbers down here as they change. I'm going to try to do a 60,000 word. Once that's set, it changes to how many words you have to write a day to meet that goal based on the date you put in here. All right? That's how easy it is. You put your deadline. So if you're going to do NaNoWriMo 1st of November to 30 November, you're going to put your deadline as 30 November. You'll put your total as 50,000 words. Enter. And it's going to tell you how many. So on the 1st, in 2 days, you'll put 50,000. It'll say 1,667 words a day in order to get to your 50,000 words by the 30th of November. And it'll say how many you've written today. So all you have to do every day is if you've written different chapters, different scenes, and they're all in your manuscript, you just click on this target button. It shows you how many you've written for the day. Easy, 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 easy. All right, so second thing, using labels. I love using labels. I like to see what I've written, what I've finished with. I like to cross things out in a notebook. So how do you get the labels? You can get to them down here on the bottom right, but I'm going to show you the old-fashioned way before they got that going on. So if you open up, if you're in your binder, and I have folders for my acts, and they open up this chapter, I can right-click it. These right here are the labels, these colors. I'm going to right-click it. I'm going to go to Labels, and I'm going to go to Edit. Okay, and you can do that from here as well. So when you're in here, you can make the labels anything you want. A lot of people will make them POVs, points of view. That way, when you do the colors, you can look down by your chapters and see which POVs are, how many POV chapters are for John, and how many are for Mary, and how many are for Glenn. Things like that. That's useful too. You can do it that way. I personally use it to see what I'm working on. So if it's red, I haven't started it yet. I haven't written one word in it yet. If it's orange, I've started it. I've written a paragraph. I've written half of a scene. If it's yellow, it's my first draft. I finished the first draft. I wrote the whole scene. It's 1,500 words, say. And I'm done with my first draft. I'm going to move on, and then I'll come back and redo it when I start doing my editing procedures. And once I've done my editing, my second draft, basically, I'll call it final. And then when it's all green, I'll have done my first draft, my second draft, and I'll probably want to compile the whole thing and look at it one more time before I send it to an editor. All right, that's how I use it. You can put anything you want. You can put labels for settings. You can, then it would show here, how many are set in Italy and how many are set or Paris or something like that. However, whatever is useful to you, and every book may be different. So think about that as well. All right, so next, number 3. Number 3 is, I want one more thing. Sorry. Got to show you this. View. Use colors. You can see it in the binders. You can change the icons. You can use it in the index cards and the corkboard. We're going to show you that later. You can see it in the outliner rows if you're going to use the outliner, and then Scrivener titles. But also you can show as the background color in the binder. I don't like to use this. It looks a little cluttered for me, but some people do. If you click that, this is what happens. It goes all the way across the color you selected. One of the big things is you have to choose a good background color for your binder, or some of these colors won't show up. All right, just wanted to show you that. I'm going to go back to the way I had it because I don't like it that way. Bam. All right, so number 3, snapshots. This is like the most amazing thing if you've never used it. It's so awesome. So you go into the inspector. If your inspector's not on for some reason, there's a little icon up here on the right. Or you can bring the toolbar. You can bring it into the toolbar if it's not in there, but it's usually on there automatically. It's a little blue circle with the eye in it, so it makes it appear and disappear like that. All right, the little camera. It's called Snapshots. All right, every time you finish a scene, when you're ready to turn off the computer for the night or go to bed, you can do a snapshot of what you did and what you if you're like me, you kind of go back and read from the beginning. You might change a couple words. You can get updates every day. You can have as many versions of this chapter as you like. So if you're looking at Word, right, and you have your whole document in Word, every time you change a scene, you're going to have to go, hey, I changed the scene version 532, and you may put like I did in the old days. You may put I changed, that the bird was blue or something like that. All right, you don't have to do that here because all of your chapters are on the binder right here, and each chapter has their own individual save, right? And in addition to that, if you can look at this one and choose an older version and compare it, and it'll show you what you erased and what you added, and you can look at all that stuff and decide if you like that better or you don't like that better and what you did to it. Pretty amazing, huh? Yeah, it's awesome. I like it a lot. All right. Let's talk about auto backup. If you're inactive for more than 2 seconds, it backs it up. You can check it at the top of the screen. If you looked at the top of the screen, it shows you like right here. When I type, it fades out, and after 2 seconds, it comes back on. That means it's saved. It's backed up. All right. You can also do your manual savings by just anywhere, like any other thing, file, save as, save it wherever you want. Okay. So that's snapshots and saving. Corkboard. I love the Corkboard. A lot of people think it's too complicated, but I really love it. I'm going to show you how I'm using it in my new book here. So I got the beginning hook, right? I'm going to make this a little smaller so I can see. All right, this is the Corkboard, right? This is Post-its, a marker, some index cards, some tape, and throwing everything on a bulletin board or a whiteboard and getting to work, right? It's doing the hard work, trying to make things make sense. And you can take these cards and move them around. Now they're out of order, but I'm going to move that back. All right, now they're back in order. But you can take these cards and move them around. And I always write these the little synopsis in there, and the synopsis is the same synopsis that you have in the inspector right here. All right. And I always do the synopsis because I think it helps me capture what's in there and I can move things around. On the left-hand side, you're going to see your labels, just like you got here. You're going to see your labels, what you've already written, what you've started, what you finished, and things like that. On the right side, you're going to see your keywords. This is awesome because you can actually, instead of doing your POV with your labels, you do them with your keywords. This isn't something I want to go into deeply here, but I have keywords, which I have the POVs, I have the settings, locations of those scenes, and I also have subplots, and I have them in different colors. And so what happens is I can see right here in my book, black is Mark's POV and pink is Sophie's. So it goes black, pink, and that I want to alternate those throughout my book. I also know that red stands for the love story subplot, and I know that orange stands for the Camino as a setting, Camino de Santiago Trail. So this is how I do. I can look at this in one shot, and I can see what pieces are in each setting, and I can also I can show you do collections later where you can just collect those scenes that hold that keyword, and you can make sure all those they're all synced together. I also track my obligatory scenes if you're following the story grid with the yellow here, so that means there's an obligatory scene in this one as well. So really, I love this because it's kind of a brain meld. You can get all the data you need from your book and move things around. It's awesome. All right, last one, make it your own. How do you do that? Look at, you may have noted all these colors. I have this dark green here, I have blue here, I have a light green here, and if you looked at my snapshots, they're orange, which I'm not sure I like. I'm not sure why I did that. You can also make the colors in here, and all that's done through going to Scrivener, Preferences, and Appearance. And then you can take all of these things, the binder, you can change the color of the binder. Like I got the dark green, you can change it to anything you want. Got all these options. You can use the pencils, you can use spectrum, all this stuff. Change the font. I can put the font here. I can change the spacing between the lines here. I can do the same thing for the corkboard. I can make the color, I got it blue. The status stamps are blue. These are the status stamps here. I'll go back and talk about this in a minute. The corkboard black, the background's blue. You can do the index cards, whatever color you want. Mine are white, but you can make them whatever color you want. For instance, if I was, I can make them red. There you go. They're red. But I'm going to make them white again because I like them white. There you go. And so you can do all of that here in the appearances, and then if you want to, do your editor and make it standard for every new like chapter you have in there, just click on that the big A, small a up here. This do whatever font and size that you want right here, and that every new chapter and scene that you add will have this as their norm. Okay, and just remember, whatever you see on the editor, on just like in Word or everything like that, that's not what you're going to see though when you decide to, export this to Word or PDF. Because when you do the compiler, you can say, when I compile, I want everything on here to be font 12, and I want it to be this type of font. And you can set all that up in the compiler. So this is just for your ease of looking at it. This is for whatever makes you happy, whatever colors make you happy. And I have a composer as well, which is a really good place where you can just write and you don't have all that tech around. And you can actually put a background of an image if you want, because my book's a love story about the Camino de Santiago through Spain, hiking through Spain. And so I have this image here kind of motivate me and things like that. So all that stuff is, personalized. You can personalize it to whatever you want. All right, so there you got it. That's 5 reasons to use Scrivener while you're writing NaNoWriMo. If you got any questions, send them to me below. If you like this, check like below and subscribe. I got another video that's a lot longer that goes in a lot more detail. If you're interested in that, you can go to my channel. And good luck on NaNoWriMo. Have fun.